Okay, it started. No more racist jokes.
Tom.
No more anti-Protestant jokes.
Well, I can't promise. I cannot promise that.
I feel like people don't care about that as much as being like people who are openly racist. Openly hateful of Protestants seems to be a thing that's allowed now.
That's because most American Christians don't realize they're being insulted when you insult Protestants.
That's not me.
I got that on record.
It's like that meme of like, those kids would be real mad if they could read. Those Christians would be real mad if they understood anything of what the hell you were talking about, because they don't.
Yeah, there's been some great of those. Those kids would be mad if they could read memes the last couple of days.
Yeah,
I've really enjoyed them. Really enjoyed them. Not gonna lie. I kind of like the new camera angle for me.
For you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that
close
journey
on your
for
face.
What?
I love that journey for you.
The journey?
It's just a stupid whatever. Danny gets it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad Tom's
He doesn't
back.
want to get it, but he does.
We have show notes for this. This is gonna be a short show, right? There's nothing we're to talk about.
I see. There's
LVO's
plenty to
not
talk
coming
about.
up or anything, is it?
We have to rail about railguns.
Oh, there's
Did you
memes that'll
post
do
show
that for us.
notes?
We don't even have to mention railguns. Trust me. The meme railgun is loaded.
You got the rail memes ready?
Yeah. First time
I'm gonna
chat
see
from
if
viewer
Tom's gonna
MOP.
go back to his first love. To what?
First time chat from a guy named MOP.
Mop? Nice.
I wrote that as
I'm mopey. I'm mopey? You don't have to be mopey around us. We're nice.
No,
I'm
like
Opie?
I'm Opie, like Opie from Andy Griffith's show.
I know. I'm purposely trying to make it sound stupid. This is what I do.
I'm
This is what I do with
ignoring your
people's
sea
names.
lion. Purposely ignoring whatever it is, the thing.
Oh,
is how
when
I
are you
roll.
gonna next not be on, Tom?
Next weekend? 2 weeks
It
from now?
depends on how badly I get reamed in this show.
Hey, look, you said I'm doing a good job sounding stupid. See, it was working, Tom, until you ruined it.
There you go. Gotta give the people what they want.
Oh, well, if that's what I was doing, then I gotta stop. I'm not a fan of the people.
No. According to my fortune cookie, it's time to let my quiet soul sing.
Danny,
So-
I think you're muted.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Can't hear Danny.
Can't hear Danny.
Unplug and replug.
No, I just accidentally hit the little remote mute thing.
All
with my-
right.
Oh, there we go.
He's probably
well.
been making
I was
comments
making
this whole
s-
time and been like, "What the
I
fuck's
was.
nobody talking to me?"
No, I just figured I was being ignored because I made a joke about John always needing to butcher people's name because he's gone his whole life as a white guy with a last name people can't pronounce.
This is true. I preferred it when you were muted.
You know, I get that a lot. I get that a
Isn't
lot.
that the exact same line that gets delivered every time we figure out Danny gets muted? He
Probably.
says something, and we're all like, nah. It's like the same thing that happens to me when I unmute.
Because you don't really realize how much Danny's zinging everybody until he's muted for a little bit. And then he comes
You're
roaring
like, "Oh,
back
peace
with
and
something
quiet."
from a couple minutes ago, and you're like, man, fuck you.
That's good.
Hey, you know, I like to come off from the top rope. What can I say?
That's true.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, between
big or
watermelon
go
and
home.
then people calling me Weissmuller when I was younger.
Oh,
And I'm like,
yeah.
I don't even understand the Weissmuller one. And then I got older, I was like, oh, it's like an Olympic guy. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh, great. Thanks for the random reference that I'm not going to get because I'm a fucking child.
Right.
Thank you.
Because I'm a 9-year-old playing tackle football, and all my coaches are like, hey, Weissmuller. I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I prefer
Probably for the
watermelon.
best.
Thanks.
The watermelon is a fine creation.
Yeah.
There's no shame.
I actually don't like watermelon.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
My kids
The
love
monster.
it. I don't like it.
I'm fine. You know, I'm generally positive, but I'm not like, oh my god, I really could go for some watermelon.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am. Like,
Yeah.
I might eat some, but I don't ever seek it out.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
my melon of choice in
Really?
regards to like actual melons, not the
Not the
Careful.
big
Oracle
one.
melon.
This is a family-friendly broadcast, sir.
I was literally the second you said melon of choice, I was like, no, it's not. I know exactly what your melons of choice are.
Like, I'll actively avoid
It's-
cantaloupe and honeydew, but watermelon, I'll eat it.
I like cantaloupe. Honeydew just doesn't taste like anything, but I like cantaloupe.
Yeah.
I think cantaloupe's fine.
Honeydew's a bitch.
I hope
Yes, she
Just doesn't
is.
I
taste
hope
like
I'm
anything.
Opie is a first-time listener, and he's like out already.
Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck? I came here for Warhammer, and they're talking about cantaloupe.
See, honeydew is garbage. Thank you, Airborne.
Yeah, I agree with you, Airborne.
Yeah.
My children, however, love both of those, and we never buy it because neither Natalie or I like it. If you want honeydew and cantaloupe, you can go to Grandma and Grandpa's house.
They
Or
put salt on it. I put
Blueberry.
salt on the watermelon. Well, now it's tahini, but
Yeah, tahini. Oh man, tahini on watermelon's pretty good.
yeah,
And tahini is
I
garbage.
still prefer salt. Oh fuck, man!
It's too spicy.
I know it's got tomato in it. Right? Like, what the fuck is in this? Onion? God damn it!
Oh, we're hitting all the white notes at least.
Well, today's the day for it, so.
I know. I was gonna say this is an important historical day. It's a little
White
Christmas, right?
Remembrance
Epiphany.
Day.
Did you have your spaghetti dinner?
No, because I'm not in my traditional setting of Little Italy.
I had
God.
hummus. Is hummus white
Hey,
person
that's
food?
Oh
No, not really.
this is good.
Yeah, it
I
tasted
mean-
a little spicy. I was not okay with it.
They put some
No.
paprika in there, and you're just
Any
like, oh
food
no,
is
I
white
can't deal
person
with this.
food if you fusion it enough.
You mean if you take enough of the flavor out?
Yeah.
Or the culture.
Airborne says that's where Tom's been all year. Olive Garden.
Hey, when you're here, your family.
Yeah. I mean, they got that.
And when you're not here, Adam
right
makes
now.
fun of you, so it's the same thing.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what family's for, isn't it?
Yes,
Okay, do we want to actually start the show now that we're 9 minutes late?
I
Sure.
guess.
sure.
Sounds like
I'm gonna
work.
count us in. Ready?
I know.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, run.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode 99
I thought this was
of
100.
TFG Radio. This is 99.
Man, that means Tom's not gonna be here for 100.
Yes.
Um,
As you can hear, we have John today on the Wheels of Steel.
Hello. Which is
Danny
not a
is with us
wheelchair.
also.
Hey.
And today, on the show for the first show of the new year,
Starting it
to
right.
start it right, new year, new attitude. We have Tom.
New year, new me, baby.
Well, yeah, sort of. Also, happy Dias de los Reyes Day. For those that don't know, it's a Mexican holiday, which is more or less Christmas.
Little
and
Christmas or Epiphany.
It's the day that the three wise men visited baby Jesus.
Yeah, I didn't get the baby in my
gave him
cake.
a-
I was mad.
Yeah,
No,
I didn't get it either.
I didn't.
So-
We didn't even do the Pan de Reyes this year.
We
just
did it at
'cause it's
work.
like we're not going to get to see anybody, and
No.
it's just kind of.
I just like the bread. Even
No,
though
the
I'm not
bread's
supposed to
great.
eat it.
The bread's good.
Yeah,
Somebody always
bread's
brings
great.
it to work.
No, that's
Oh,
the advantage
nice.
of working at Catholic
Or
school.
more than one person brings it to work usually. Yeah, it's a Catholic
you're
school.
ever
and there's
wondering
a large
why it's
number
a-
of like Hispanic members on the staff, so like there's always somebody who or more than one who brings it.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, it's one of those things of if you ever wondered why it's the 12 days of Christmas, now you know, because Christmas
Yeah.
technically ends now, and I can finally get rid of my goddamn tree this weekend.
Yeah, now
It just
means my wife-
already.
No, it stays up until after Christmas isn't over until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Natalie
Yeah,
decided
my
since she was
wife's
stuck
excuse-
upstairs with COVID, I had to take all the Christmas stuff down with my kids. I'm not sure
Ah.
why I had to do that when she was upstairs, but whatever.
Doesn't quite sound as magical as putting it up with your kids.
I mean, that's not magical
No.
either. That's just something I have to do.
I didn't say that was.
Yeah, my wife uses this opportunity to get 2 gifts, so one on Christmas and then one today. So
Yeah.
Now that just sounds like a scam.
Probably.
I think next year I'll make her put her shoes outside like you're supposed to.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds like an MLM pyramid scheme with extra steps.
I'm waiting for that hot take Jesus NFT to come out.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the wise men brought Jesus a MetaMask account.
Yeah, see, there you go.
So it's been a few busy. We've been gone a few weeks, in case you guys haven't noticed. It's been a few busy couple of weeks. Real quick, since it is a new year and a lot of us have a lot of plans, LVO's coming up. John, you have any plans other than after LVO in regards to your armies or things like that?
I got to finish the TFG Eldar army.
Okay.
And I should probably finish the TFG Necron army at some point.
That might help.
But I'm not sure why. Other than for completism or whatever.
Completism.
Just to have them. You never know.
Yeah. I mean,
that's why I got
some
Reavers.
knights I got to finish. I have Chaos Knights.
Yeah.
I got a couple of the Forge World Knights that still aren't done for my army. The Castigator up there needs the TFG Radio decals on it. And then it also needs to go to the store. So it lives with the rest of the army so I can actually use it sometimes. No. Other than that, I don't have any major plans for 40K other than I really want to play Barry Open and SoCal Open. Because they're both time periods that work for me next year. So far.
Uh-oh.
So far.
Uh-oh.
You mean this year?
2022, yeah.
Yes.
Barry Open in May works for me. That weekend in May still works. It usually did. And then it looks like the weekend for SoCal Open that they announced also still works. Because it's still the weekend before Halloween.
Halloween, yeah.
It's when it gets too close to Halloween, it doesn't work for me. But
Right.
KR Quinn says he's playing
Danny?
for 10 days of quarantine after LVO.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably all of us.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Danny, your
Me?
plans?
I honestly don't know yet. I'm thinking about getting a new larger army project because like my Tyranids again are almost completely painted. I think I have a few zone throbes left to paint and then it's pretty much all done.
300 body problem.
At this I mean, I have to put in I guess I could put them all into my scheme, but that I don't know. I might want to take a break. So I've actually been thinking about doing a death army in AOS, like, cause I really love Nagash, and I wish I still had my old Nagash model.
Do you
and
though?
I do.
Can I paint your Nagash model if you get it?
Maybe. I'd be open to that because Lord knows painting's slow. But then, probably just, I don't know. There's nothing coming out that's like super, like, I got to do it. You know, like this is coming out. I'm excited, get amped. Probably play around with our, different TFG radio armies. And of course, I'll be playing the Crusher Stampede with Tyranids when I can. But like, I'm not like, there's not like, I'm not a Custodes player. I'm not a GSC player.
No.
Like Tau seems cool, and I'll probably borrow Tom's because he won't play them. And mess around with that, and maybe if I fall in love with it or find something I really like, I'll actually start working on it. But I'm kind of in a holding pattern, right? Quite honestly, and just
Speaking of Tom.
Well, I'm not going to sneeze anymore. No, so I don't think I'm going to play Tau unless it looks amazing to me or I find
Unless it's OP.
Well, yes.
I believe that's code for Tom doesn't own any railgun hammerheads.
I actually own 6.
6?
Yeah.
What's the matter with you?
Well, it's because I own 6 Devilfish chassis and then I have 6 hammerhead turrets.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
That's the same thing.
Fair enough.
But I mean, it's the reason I might.
So I am
not
playing
is-
Tau.
Yep, there you go. The reason I wouldn't though is because as much as I love Tau, I've never been able to make them work for me. So unless this new codex really changes them around that fits my playstyle, which is bad, then I can play them. But
Okay, so
more
I'll be
likely
playing
not.
Tau. Okay.
Yeah, probably. There you go. The other reason I don't want to play Tau is because I know I'm a much better painter now, and if I look at my old scheme, I'm gonna be like, oh, I just want to redo the whole army, and I can't. I just have way too many Space Marines to go through. I think what I'm really looking forward to is the Ultramarines book, which I'm expecting will drop right before they announce the next edition, which will be so much fun. And then
I'm hoping for there never to be an Ultramarines book, just so quick.
Yeah, they can just use the codex.
Respectfully, go fuck yourself. And
You already have a Primarch. What more do you want?
Seriously.
I'm sitting over here.
I want
No Lehman Russ. No Vulcan.
I want
No
him.
Jagatai.
I want him to have one rule update, which is to get up on a 2-up, not a 4-up, because I can't reroll it anyway. That's it. That's all I want.
He's not a living saint.
I'm gonna try to go to SoCal like I always do this year, and then I'm gonna.
Same.
I can't make it to LVO this year. Last turn of events.
Boo.
I know.
Boo.
I am sad, but
Weak. Not sad enough.
I got all the tears out beforehand because I knew you guys would make fun of me for crying on stream. But I'm hoping instead to go to something else I wouldn't normally go to, like maybe a Dice Hammer event, or I usually have a hard time going to Battle for LA, so maybe this time I'll be able to make it work. Although it depends on when it is in April. And then, yeah, I don't know, just kind of seeing what the year brings. I do have Custodes. I'm never good enough to play them, but I'm excited to see that book, just to see it. And yep, that's me.
Okay. For myself, I think I mentioned before, it's just basically getting my chaos ready for the new book when it comes out. So, and going to more events if I possibly can.
To play or judge?
Yes.
Oh, to play.
And why not both?
No, fair.
I played in one GT this year.
I mean, that's tied with me.
So we'll see. But other than that, we do have. There were some. We've seen a bunch of rules for both for Tau for some reason, because that's coming out soon. Everybody had the big stink about the railguns.
Boo-hoo.
I'm personally not worried about it in the fact that there's a lot of heavy support choices in the Tau Codex to be just in general. So depending on your playstyle, I don't know what you're going to give up to take the Hammerhead. And even then, it's only one shot. It still has to hit, even with the bonuses. Anyone
I'd be
that's
super happy for people not to bring broadsides.
Yeah,
I'd be
or
way happier to
Riptides.
bring
Or
Hammerhead.
Riptides.
Aren't Riptides elites?
Yeah, I think they're elites.
No, broadsides.
Riptide. No, broadsides are heavies.
Yeah.
Riptides are elites, but elites or Riptides have traditionally been one of the more scary, threatening things across editions.
Stupid broadsides with all the freaking missiles.
That
What
was
about the
until
Storm
they got.
Surges?
The Storm Surge was good for about 3 months when it came out.
Right.
And then they changed it to not have the battlesuit keyword. It lost
yeah.
drone protection, and then no one cared. Because it was so easy to bring down.
Good.
And they have and that one's what, Lord of War now?
That one, they also moved it to Lord of War, too.
Yeah.
Or was it always a Lord of War? I can't
It was
remember.
always
I don't
Lord of War. It was always a super heavy.
Yeah, so
Or
I don't.
back when super heavy existed as a term.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, right?
So I mean, I don't. I see people bringing it. It's one of those things where everyone will bring it to play it, then realize it's not as good as they thought it would be, and then
Yeah,
move
'cause
on
I
to something else.
I mean, the Devilfish chassis isn't exactly durable. It's what,
Nope.
T7,
No.
12 wounds, 3+ armor save.
Basically,
Right, so
yeah.
if they don't go first, they probably just get picked up.
Yep.
I mean, I would want to play with them just because that's fun. It's like big gun go boom. And that way you could kit out your crisis suits or things to focus more on infantry, because if they do have a heavy threat, you will very easily gun it down. But I mean, there's only 3, and then the math actually isn't great on them. Because I know in the Tyranid groups, people were like, "Oh my God, this invalidates Crusher because they can just one-shot almost everything we have." And I'm like, actually, no. Between needing to hit, needing to wound, right, and the damage roll, and if you have Feel No Pain up, like even without any of our buffs up, it's just a flat like, cool. I think you need like 5 railgun shots to guarantee you kill a Hive Tyrant. Between all the hitting and wounding, right? Like, and that if you don't roll max damage, to be able to get all 12 wounds in one go, it's like, oh, that's
Also,
not that scary
if
when you
you're-
can only have 3 of them.
Yeah, and if you're playing any army that can actually hide, so if you're not playing knights, if you're playing anything other than knights, like, you literally want them to go first, so they have to move out, and then you just blow up their stupid hammerheads. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
People on both sides of the railgun argument seem to forget that terrain is a thing, and obscuring terrain is a thing.
yeah.
No,
And
it's not.
Oh, okay, there you go. Never mind. Good night, everybody.
Deny.
Roll credits.
Yeah. But that, and then we've been seeing some of the Aldari stuff the new Guardian models and the new Guardian Defender / Storm Guardian models.
They look good.
I mean,
not too reinvented, I guess, would be if I had any critique of them. It's like they seem very much like, oh yeah, it's the same kit. Cool, right? Like, it doesn't actually seem all that different. But hey, I mean, hopefully it's easy to build, and most of the new GW plastics
easier,
are. So so it's like, cool, have fun. I don't know why people.
I think it'll be fine. I don't. From what I've seen with the Eldar stuff, I don't know. We'll see. I think it's just going to be as good as maybe not Grey Knights, but maybe like Thousand Suns and on that level. I think. I mean, it could be really good. I'll have to wait and see.
What, Eldar?
Yeah.
It's Eldar, so statistically speaking, it's probably going to be pretty good.
Above average at the very least.
K.R. Quinn said based on history, he's thinking it's going to be totally broken.
Probably. I mean, because we've talked about this a lot over the many years we've been doing this of like, Eldar are always like the broken faction because their whole design philosophy is we get to break rules. Right. Like there's just things we get to do that no one else gets to, or there's rules we basically get to ignore. And it's like cool, and that's how you.
Before rerolls were prevalent. Like that was always their thing too. Like, oh yeah, I just get to reroll all this stuff, and people were like, man, rerolls are super good. Can we get rerolls? And GW was like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a little, not worried, but I'm just curious to see how Eldar turn out once they're released into the wild. So, and we haven't seen anything for the Chaos stuff yet. So
that's what worries me. Because my World Eaters are done. So until they're like, here's some new World Eater models or something, like I don't know really what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, there's just for me, I have almost every plastic model, not counting Forge World.
Right.
I think I have almost every model kit. At this point.
There's a new Horus Insurrection box set coming up.
Oh, what? For Horus Heresy?
No. We call it the Horus Insurrection now.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, it was a protest, first off. Like, I think we just need to be clear, and I don't appreciate the coded language from a loyalist dog, all right? Like, it was a protest, and granted, maybe a few outliers got rowdy, but, everyone stayed in the velvet ropes. That's all I'm saying.
So... Very good, Daddy.
Anyway,
so
Horus did nothing wrong.
I keep trying to
just
fit
giving a speech.
Joke.
The fake Imperial news cycle is at it again. You can't trust the mainstream Imperial news. I'm just saying.
Esteban 5 never happened, okay?
Look, according to Turning Point Erebus, okay? According to Turning Point Erebus, everything was peaceful until the Emperor just wouldn't let them summon their demons. I mean, what was his problem?
Mm-hmm. I heard it was Plants Alpha Legion. We can all agree Alpha Legion are the worst, so I heard it was
Dear loyalists, you claim your emperor is not a god, but there are 4 chaos gods who want him dead because he pissed them off. Curious.
That's actually a good one.
That's kind of true, though.
Oh, man.
So,
I can't wait for the hate mail. Please send it all to Adam Solis.
That's fine.
Please come see me at LVO.
You can too. They're hard to find.
Yeah.
I'll be at the judges' table.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be at the judges' table after BCP crashes.
Why you gotta put that in the
or at the bar?
Because it happens every year. Like,
yeah. Yeah, so I'm building and finishing whatever chaos stuff I have, and
God damn.
So just a lot of going back to painting black. So
back in black.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, it was
So
painted
it should
black.
be fun.
Yeah, there's. Yeah, but the Rolling Stones suck.
And I want it painted.
Right. John is on a contrarian streak today. So.
Like that might be one of the only Rolling Stones songs I actually like.
Clothes.
Haven't you heard the one in Spanish, Danny?
Huh? Yes, that is amazing.
I like the version they used when they cut it into Westworld, the first season of the Westworld.
Oh yeah,
Painted
that
black
was
in the
also
Westworld.
really
That
good.
was really good.
Yeah.
And then the Westworld.
You know what that always reminded me of was the Gunslinger, right? Where Roland goes into the bar and like there's the honky tonk version of Hey Jude.
Yep.
Right, like, and just to like show the weird connections between all the universes, and I was like, oh man, I feel like that's very much an homage of, hey, all of this music is just going to be, Western style renditions.
I'm sure that was an homage to that.
Yeah,
like it had to have been, right? I'm sure anybody working on the Westworld.
That's right, the Gunslinger.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they knew. Yeah, for sure, right?
Yeah, I think you kind of have to.
Okay, what the hell were we talking about?
Random, I don't know, literature.
We're moving on. More importantly, we are moving on to what we've been building for the last couple of months, and which probably the reason why Tom has been avoiding us on the show, at least. The Haiku Contest.
Yeah. There were some hitters, man. I was impressed. There were some hitters.
There were some good ones.
So this year... Tom has not seen any of these, by the way.
I wanted to judge them.
We didn't let Tom vote.
No, no, Tom. No, we didn't.
We want his reaction.
Cameras on Tom for Tom reactions.
When we did yours, John, we didn't have you vote, or did we? I don't remember.
We did. That's what I was trying to say.
I don't remember.
Again, fake news.
I don't remember.
You hate to see it.
But what I do remember is we didn't include Tom, which makes it even better.
Yep.
Oh boy!
So
it was just you, me, and Danny that voted.
I actually asked my brother to vote. My brother voted.
2 Johns are better than 1.
I'm trying to look. The 2 Johns did not vote for the same thing. Oh no, they did on one of them, which was one of the runners up. All right, so we had a number. We had a good number of haikus turned in. Every year, it's always hard to choose. Which ones.
But just for the record, there were not as many haikus for Tom as there were for me when we did.
God. To stroke your ego, no, there wasn't.
I need my Crown PNG image back.
You're in charge of that stuff. I don't know.
I know, right?
I deleted it. I delete everything when I don't use them.
My name is John. This contest that I always say that I hate, I want to remind everyone I got more of for my version of it than Tom did. I win the contest that I hate.
Yeah, that's basically
this is already good.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, Tom, it's always about me, right?
I just got away with my family. I don't need to be reminded of them.
That's awesome. Okay, go ahead, Adam.
So we'll start with some of the runner-ups.
So losers.
One of them,
losers.
Yeah, up to first loser, and then we'll have the winner.
So this is your haiku
for those that don't remember or maybe don't know, haiku is a Japanese form of poetry, which it's 3 lines, 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables for each line. It's ideally should be in the original in Japanese, but this in terms of the syllable count, but it's English because we're Americans.
America.
One of them is so here's one I'll read. It's called A Story of Tom. A Wish.com Ed Sheeran. Bad at 40K.
Oh my god.
That's good because I hate Ed Sheeran.
Yes. I remember the person, Tom knows who wrote this, and when the person told him that, he called him that the first time, Tom was livid. Yeah. Because he did not.
So it is Ant.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
the funny thing is, I totally forgot about that, and I was like, that sounds like Ant.
Yep.
Tom, oh my god, it was good because Tom's like, I don't even have red hair.
That's why it's the wish version.
Another one. The year of Tom was the same as GW's plan to make a balanced game.
Damn. That's what just mean-spirited.
I don't quite... it doesn't quite hit. I get where they're going with it, but I feel like he's limited by the fact that the haiku doesn't give him enough to work with.
Yeah, because he had to split the sentences
Yeah.
up between the 3 lines.
So, like, I get where he was going, but nah.
Yeah.
Enjambment
this
doesn't
one-
work super well in a haiku.
Yeah.
Where have you gone, Tom? In a dark basement, serving as John's mannequin.
Where's that?
Which gives me an idea.
Rude. This is just rude.
John,
Uncalled for. Yeah.
John, your mannequin's name is now Tom.
This Natalie's mannequin, you gotta clear that with her.
Well, now it's named Tom.
No, now it's named Tom.
It's got a woman's shape. It's a woman mannequin.
Yeah,
So?
it's Tom. I don't know what
Why
the
do you-
problem
It's
is.
Why you gotta
2022.
box things in? Okay,
Yeah.
like why do you have to just think so binarily? Like,
Look,
come on.
cancel me on Twitter, okay, people? Got it. Mannequin looks like a woman. Can't be named Tom. Done.
You can't
No, it can. It really can, actually.
Airborne says, start dressing it as Tom until she says something.
Oh, my
I
God.
feel like she's not going to say anything. She'll just walk in one day with divorce papers and be like, you're fucking weird. I'm out. This is one weird thing too many.
I still don't see a downside.
I was also confused because for a second I thought you meant the mannequin says something, and so it had this whole darker version to it. Like John walks in and the mannequin says, "Hello, John."
Man, that was the scariest thing in Silent Hill 3. The room with the
Yes,
mannequins.
the mannequin rooms.
And
Yeah.
then you walk
Oh,
out. The
yeah.
first time you go in, you walk out and there's like the scream and everything blows up and you're like, what the fuck? Oh man, that was a scary, scary game.
Yeah.
There's another one that I like, but we could only pick 3 when we voted, was Diapers, Vomit, Booze. Fun with Adam and Danny? No, that was Tom's year.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
absolutely true.
accurate. And
That is a really good one, actually. I remember liking that
yeah.
one.
See, I starred that one because I'm like, I like this one.
Yeah.
It gets us.
One more. We'll do Tom has been exiled by the newly crowned King John until Squat's return.
That's gonna be a long, long time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's like exiling Tom for forever, because that ain't
Yeah.
happening ever.
Yeah.
No, it'll happen
So-
just like the way they did Plastic Thunderhawk in some random like throwaway,
Like an epic
special
or something.
game. Yeah.
You know what? It'll be one of those like collectible of the month or year things.
Yeah.
It'll be like a squat,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be like, "Congratulations, you got!" And it's like,
Squats.
Well,
are
they
coming
already did
back as
that.
a squat.
With Necromunda.
Yeah,
yeah, oh yeah, it'll be a kill team.
it'll be a kill
That's
team.
it.
They'll do a squat
Oh my
kill
God.
team.
That'd be
Yeah,
funny.
that's it.
Oh, dude, that'd be great. Actually, I'd buy it.
That would actually be pretty dope.
KR Quinn.
So
just
those are some of the
submitted his own haiku
runner-ups.
in the chat.
Hmm?
KR Quinn's
There you go.
haiku in the chat is pew pew. I am sad. Did not get to vote this time. I'm never here.
My favorite
Nice.
is KR Quinn's.
That's pretty good. Well, you haven't heard the ones we picked yet. Everything
I
so
know.
far was
So
just
those
losers.
are more or less the
that's my
runners up.
pick.
That Patreon will get to see all of them. There's a few more I didn't read off. But so in third place is Never Seen Nor Heard, Tom with less appearances than John has game wins.
I actually voted for that one.
I voted for that. I voted for that one too.
That was a good
I
one.
feel like I should have voted for that one. I don't know if I did, but I feel
You
like
did
I
it.
would have voted for that. Oh wow, here.
That's amazing.
There were other worthy choices,
That's it.
but I liked it.
That was third place. So second place, Tom Gone for Freedom, Sacrifice Friends and Podcast. Jan 6th was worth it.
He says he was at work, but
So does
So
my
a lot of
Google
people.
location history, bitch.
oh come on, that's a 30-second search to how to spook that. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come
So is also.
Yeah.
Okay,
See,
no,
he's like,
I
what?
didn't
Okay,
do it.
okay.
Awesome.
Except that the government can still watch me do all of that
Oh
and
my
then
God, this is
erase
great.
my history.
Now
like
let's be
I
honest.
think
If you were
it's
there, we
hidden.
would have turned you in already. All right.
Oh yeah, duh. Easily.
I would have turned him in. I would have just made sure it was a meme of him every time on every show, doing different things. Here's Tom smashing a window. Here's Tom walking around with the fucking thing on his head like he's like a bull. Here's Tom shirtless for some reason. Here's Tom.
The only if we had the time and the money, the only reason I ever would have gone would have been with my gamer bag, really confused, thinking that there was supposed to be a tournament nearby, and just taking lots of pictures, like following the crowd, like, I think this is the entrance, like, or I think this is where the game is, or
carrying a battle foam bag, wheeling a cart full of miniatures around.
No, but that's the thing. It just says battle foam, and so a bunch of like rednecks will be like, "Yeah, battle, yeah," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's got my Tau in it. You want to see?" Like, "Yeah, Sigma Tau, man set," and I'm like, "No, it's the thing."
Okay, first place. I think all three of us voted for it. I think this one was probably more true to like what a haiku represents.
That's why I voted for it.
Yeah, which is probably why we voted for it. And it goes, where is Tom, you ask? Whispers on the wind, a ghost, leaving them wanting. Mm-hmm. So that's the first place. That goes to Joseph C.
Yay, Joseph.
Second place was Dan. Didn't leave his last name, but his email was Tricloro. I want to say it like tricolos, like three colors, like Spanish, but that's a Mexican in me. And then third place was Andrew Johnson with the never seen nor heard.
The president?
So, yes.
I thought you were more of an Andrew Jackson fan.
Oh, my God.
Tom. Oh, my God.
No, Andrew Jackson.
I'm a big Teddy Roosevelt guy myself.
Yeah, that's the Roosevelt I like.
Mm-hmm. Anybody who can get shot during a speech and finish the speech, I'll vote for you.
Yeah, he's got chutzpah.
So I'll be contacting all three of them with their with the prizes, and it was gift certificates to either Gameology or to Hammerhead Games. So
Hammerhead Games.
So thank you very much for participating. .net. Thank you, John.
Only took him years to figure that one out.
I know.
No, it's just the joke got bad, so now I have to do it right.
He's just a slow learner. No, it's just you're a slow learner. It's okay, John.
Yeah.
It's okay, Slow John.
Put it back to the news so nobody can see me flicking you off.
Screen cap. Hold on.
Is this your way? Is this your way of saying you get a ride to work? Huh? You know.
Yikes.
So thank you everybody for participating. I always enjoy the haikus every year. Yeah. I know Danny does too, and I think definitely. Danny appreciates it more.
I do. Again, if you ever want my vote, the easiest way is be like, wait, what is a haiku actually supposed to sound like?
Yeah.
And then be like, okay, there we go.
Yeah. Appeal to the teacher in him. Follow the assignment.
That is, I think, why that one got all of our votes. Because it was like a legit actual follows the formula haiku.
Because it's supposed to be a meditation. It is a meditative art form. It is not meant to just be literature. It's supposed to be meditative, right? Like it is supposed to help you think on and experience reality in a higher way. And I feel like that one does.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's not the same sick burn, but, I mean, hey, I can't stop being who I am. And I'm proud of it, so it's fine.
None of us are complaining.
Yeah, I know John enjoys them when they're about other people, and I think Tom
he liked the attention. He liked the attention when it was about him.
I know. We'll see how this year goes, and we'll see what.
Don't let him.
So we continue the year of Tom, as mentioned before. It requires 26 appearances, and Tom is now at, I believe, 7 or 6. 6.
7. I think this is 7.
Yeah,
7.
Right, 7.
Wait, aren't we
you know what? It's a new year, so we should just start over. So once he gets 26,
in a calendar
we'll move
year?
on to another. Until I feel like it, essentially.
In a calendar year.
Yeah, you thought there were rules to this?
No.
I make them up as I go along.
Do I even get on 26 shows in the calendar year?
Yeah, pray I don't alter the deal. Exactly, Danny. Pray I don't alter the deal further.
You're talking to the guy who models himself after Abaddon.
This is true.
My top knot will get there eventually.
I'm growing mine back out again. I miss it when I had mine during the lockdown.
Yeah,
I'm growing that fucker back out.
So speaking of contests, we just finished the one for the haiku. We are doing one for the 200th Twitch episode, which is next in 2 weeks, hopefully.
The The prize
Someone
is on
figured
its
out the
way.
prizes. Well, so the prize for the Twitch people will be a greater demon of your choice.
Yeah.
As
So
long as
it'll
it's
either be Lord of as long as it's what do I have? A Lord of Change or Keeper of Secrets? Greater demon of your choice.
Your choice within 2 options.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's still a choice.
No, you can choose either one. Those two, Bloodthirster, Green and Clean One, or even Be'lakor. So that would be for the people that watch on the Twitch stream. For the Patreon members, especially those that have been around for a long time, I believe, Danny, that's going to be the prize you're giving out, correct?
Yes. So
And that would be the. Go ahead and tell them what you.
All right. Yeah, I got the shipping confirmation, so it should show up within a couple of days. Will be one of the brand new FLG pre-painted terrain sets, the Gothic Ruins pre-painted terrain sets. So you just put it together, and you've got a fully painted set of terrain ready to go.
It's amazing.
There you go. Look at that.
It looks
It
really
is
good.
nice.
I believe there will be some
So nice.
on display at LVO.
Yes, there'll
There
be some
should.
there.
They-
Yeah.
If they don't have it, they'll at least have the one they use for New Orleans and the orc set that they use for New Orleans. So, and then finally we'll be giving out a prize to the Facebook people in our Facebook group, or not Facebook group, our Facebook
Eric
page.
wants to know how to subscribe. You can just send me money on Venmo. It's totally cool. I accept direct cash donations.
For Patreon, even though Danny's the one that got it. But just give it to John.
Just like
Patreon is it's through Patreon, so patreon.com/TFG Radio. Just look for TFG Radio. You can find it. And you can sign up for as few as $1.
Yep.
$5 it's either $1 or $5. It's not that big of a
One of these days we should
Maybe.
do like just to see if anyone is really such a tortured soul that we would do like the mega tier people have, where they have like 1 or 2 slots of like $1,500 a month, and you can tell us what to say. And
we can
Not
have
saying things
they
people
can
tell me
write
to say.
they can write a script for John.
John, you have a price tag. You know it.
It's not
We all have
$1,500. I'll tell you that.
Okay, $1,600.
1501.
there it is.
Excuse you guys.
Sold.
Airborne says a sleepover in John's sewing room. It's not my sewing room.
With
Well,
his new mannequin Tom.
Yeah. He doesn't sew cloth. We'll put it that way.
I'm not even sure what that euphemism is supposed to mean, and I don't like it.
Put the lotion in the basket, or else.
Oh god. Oh god.
Oh shit.
Come down there, Buffalo Bill.
Oh my god. Okay.
That movie's pretty bad.
Sorry.
That's a pretty disturbing movie.
Yeah.
John's like, I'd
Oh,
renaissance me. I'd
horses.
renaissance me hard.
Can we get when John walks in? Can
I
we get Goodbye
reenact.
Horses
Damn it, I
play?
should have said that.
Yeah.
Can we get that in post?
So look. So what are we giving to Facebook? So Facebook, you just get a vehicle of your choice, not a Forge World vehicle,
Oh,
but
suddenly getting cheap on people. I see.
something around Land Raider, Rhino. Not because I have those, happen to have those,
Right.
or
You get a Rhino.
Helldrake, things of that nature.
And that, kids, is called backtracking.
So we'll randomly pick someone that likes our page, and hopefully they're an actual person and not a bot. So that'll
You
be
mean all
next
those
week.
bots I paid for are going to waste now.
I feel
Jesus.
like our page doesn't have enough followers for any of them to be bots. I'm just gonna throw it
I'd have
out
to
there.
look.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. I don't
There-
think the page has many bots following it with only whatever number
In
of
the-
followers we have.
In the early days, there were a few because it's just like, how does this person have like 3,000
No.
friends? And
Your personal thoughts that follow the page are not bots.
why you
you
gotta
say that
hate
like
on
it's a bad
thoughts? Yeah.
I'm
Or
not hating
thoughts.
on them. I'm just
Jesus.
saying they don't count.
Wow.
They're people.
You're saying they're not people?
They're
I
not there
almost
for the
made a
minis.
joke,
They're there because Adam pays them money.
They just need to be there.
but you pay him to leave.
That's a coincidence,
Yeah,
John.
right.
It's a hell of a coincidence.
Nice. So keep a lookout, keep a listen. Make sure you're there you're on the Twitch if you're listening on podcast or on YouTube. Make sure you're on Twitch, watching us, and we'll hopefully get you a prize, a greater demon of ill repute. With that being said, small tournament coming up that we're all excited about in Las Vegas. As I described to someone, I just help run a small event in Vegas, and they just asked me, "Hey, can you let me know which one that is?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess."
You probably haven't heard of it. It's fine. It's not.
I know, right? So LVO is coming up. Tom already said he's not going because he's not a team player.
Nope. No, he isn't. Poor life decisions is what it is.
I don't like it at this point, let me tell you. Trust me, it's not something I'm happy about.
So, John, Danny, and I will be there along with the other judges.
So if you're in the Twitch chat, sound off if you're going to be there. Because especially like Airborne and KR, like we need to get a beer, you know.
And I'm Opie has a question already.
Ooh.
Is
it about our custodies and GSC
He's
legal?
asking because he heard on Signals that Frontline's going to use the GW terrain from the GW US Opens. And yes, that terrain will be there. How it's going to be laid out, though, is still being determined. Whether we use the US Open terrain layouts or we have you guys do player place terrain using that will be determined. Also, whether or not it's going to be needed is still up in the air, too. Like, it's...
Right.
I think we're sold out.
More tables than we end up with players because there's drops.
Yeah, especially right now, there seems to be, if you follow certain pages, there seems to be an uptick of, hey, anyone want to buy my ticket? So,
well, people are worried about the event being canceled. That's not going to happen. What you need to worry about is your flight not going to make it, because flights are getting canceled. LVO itself is not getting canceled. So if you're worried
saying
about
to start driving or walking now.
Yeah, you should worry about your plane getting canceled and not making it, but the event itself is happening. So
yes,
don't worry about that. And again, on another COVID note, because it always comes up every time we bring up the LVO, FLG events all follow the state, county, city, and venue mandates and guidelines. Whatever they currently are at the time of the event is what will be followed. So currently that means wearing masks. So you'll have to wear a mask at the venue. That's the venue's rule. That's the city rule. That's the county rule. That's the state rule. So that's what's going to be expected. If any of that changes, it will be asked for also. So
yeah, and just a quick note on that. If you may want to check with the venue or with the county health department to see what type of masks are allowed.
Yeah,
or some places won't. Or recommended, because some places won't allow like a handkerchief over your face or whatever.
Yeah.
So you don't want to get kicked out and not have one. I don't know if they'll have masks on hand to hand out just in case, but I always have 3 or 4.
The hotel might, but I don't know.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if you can't easily get one within 100 yards.
I don't know.
Getting good for a price.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to spend money on
Vegas.
it.
Yeah, yes. Someone's going to steal your mask and then sell it back to you.
$20.
Which just gave me an idea.
Yeah, right. I swear I had a mask earlier. Well, I have this one you can buy for me for $5. That looks like my mask. Don't know what you're talking about, bro.
Masks look all the same. It has my name on it. That's a coincidence.
Okay, next.
Yeah, like Airborne saying garters. Gators, bandanas, and things like that don't always pass muster when it comes to the mask. So,
I mean, if it matters to anybody, I'm bringing a stack of N95s that I have.
So am I.
That's what I'm going to be wearing.
I'm going to wear whatever I happen to have clean or around, or whatever Natalie tells me to wear.
I'm usually the one telling me my wife what she needs to wear. So, with the mask anyway.
You should test your outfits on the mannequin first, or
you can test them on Tom. See, make sure the mask fit, John.
Are you insinuating that female mannequin's features closely resemble mine?
John, you are quite lucky. I mean, I'm not saying I'm.
I don't know, John. I have seen you without a shirt, so.
No, you have not.
We're
No,
all
you
SoCal.
absolutely have not. I can guarantee you have not seen me without a shirt. I went to an all-boys high school. I'm keenly aware of all men who have ever seen me without a shirt.
I've certainly seen it.
This
but,
took a
this
different
was also
turn.
admittedly very long ago at in a different context.
Well, you and I have been to pool parties and things, so that's
true.
different. You've been to you were at my parents' old house where
Yeah.
we'd get drunk and go in the pool.
Yep.
Go
Those were good
on.
times. It was a long time ago.
I refuse
Oh my God.
online to go on.
Oh,
John, is there anything else you want to go over while we're at it? Even though you had the article today and people don't read,
Yeah, so the rules cutoff is any rules after the 15th, which I seem to have to keep explaining to people means that if the rules come out on the 15th, they're allowed.
Yeah. Is the 15th
telling
after
me
the
that's
15th?
not after? Yeah.
No, the 15th's not after the 15th. The 15th's actually the 15th. It's neither the
that the
14th
15th,
nor is it
though?
the 16th. The 15th is the 15th.
But is the 15th after the 15th?
So,
Wait,
Gene
what if,
Steeler,
what
Colt,
if
and
the
Custodes,
Ides? What if it's
they're out
the
on the
Ides
15th, will
of
be legal.
January?
The Ides of January. And then the other thing is if there happens to be a new GT mission packet and points adjustment prior to that, we're not using it.
Which
Right.
clearly isn't because
There's been
Yeah, it would've
zero
been out.
preview
It would've
for
been out.
So all
Yeah.
your wailing and gnashing of teeth are for naught, people. And
Well, yeah, and it would have been announced on Sunday, this past Sunday.
for sure.
So.
Yep.
So GSC and Custodes, as long as they come out on the 15th, like it seems like they're going to, will be legal. Not only are they legal, they're the ones you have to use.
Yep.
You don't get a
They will be the
choice.
current rules.
Yeah. Player optimized terrain did get a slight update from what was used at SoCal and what was used in New Orleans, because we fixed the wording to allow for movement of the pieces
Knights
that
to
have to be
move.
4 inches apart. So if you happen to be on one of the tables with the giant crates, because there's a couple of these really big ones, that the knights and some other ones that only move, I think, if you only move 10 to 12, you can't get all the way up and over legally. So you have to move
Right.
the 4-inch terrain, so it's slightly larger enough for a knight to shimmy through. The intention of those rules is never to allow you to fully block off an opponent's army.
Right.
So if that means that you have to slightly move it so that things like a giant brass scorpion can get through or whatever, then that's what's necessary. If something can go up and over it, though, without needing to advance, then you don't move it the 4 inches. You have to move up to it and then move up and over it because it's legal to do. That's been added in there, that verbiage, so that is the only change from SoCal and NOAA. So you guys are aware. Is there
Nice.
any other big ones? You need to check check the player packet, and there is a link to all the FAQs. There's going to be a whole other slew of things added soon, probably this weekend. There's going to be a whole nother batch of model conversion approvals going out this weekend. If you haven't noticed, everybody in the judges is a professional who has a job.
Yep.
And we cannot devote large amounts of our time during the week to approving conversions and answering rules questions. So a lot of that gets done when we have free time.
Yep.
So if you haven't
Which is
heard
not
back
right
yet, a lot of people heard back prior to December 30th, 31st. And then I think I answered a bunch of them on the day after New Year's. So there's a lot of them done. But if you're in that range, then you're still waiting for yours. And there will be a bunch of them this weekend.
Okay. I don't think there's anything else in regards. Just a few things in regards to just being at LVO. There's going to be a ton of people there, not just for 40K, but for other events as well. So be sure you're in the right hall because there's events in different parts of the Rio, so in different halls. There's one hall just for 40K. So I believe the friendly is going to be in a different hall.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the champs is literally just one
It's
hall.
its own hall.
Yeah.
Because it's, a large
It's
amount.
massive, so.
Huge.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Huge.
So-
if you see people playing Marvel Crisis Protocol, you're in the wrong place.
If you see anybody playing anything other than 40K with a competitive army, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah. Yeah, so be sure you're in the right hall. I'm pretty sure there'll be signs everywhere to tell you where to go. Make sure you have your rules, and we'll remind you again next episode because we know you'll all forget. Make sure you guys have your rules and actual rules, not battle.
We don't have an episode before LVO because that Thursday we're all traveling.
No, it's in 2 weeks. LVO is in 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah. We have a show before LVO.
It's the week before, yeah.
Yeah, it's the week before.
Read calendars.
Are you
guys sure?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I skip that episode?
No.
No, because I'm planning on skipping that episode.
Yeah, that's why.
No. You don't plan to skip episodes. You plan to come to an episode. You only get to say you plan to skip an episode if you come to the majority of episodes.
Don't tell them my secrets.
Okay, fine. We'll remind you again.
So make sure you have your rule books and your codexes and all the relevant materials on hand, even if it's the Warhammer app. We'll take the rules from that, if not, but not from Battlescribe. The book would probably be the best, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yep. Please have your book.
Hopefully, there should be water stations at the event, but you should probably have water.
Always bring your own water bottle. Yeah,
everybody's got those thermoflask thingies now, right? Hydro flasks.
Yeah.
I think thermoflask is the Wish.com version of Hydro Flask.
Probably.
Yeah. I said both because I actually have both. And both of them are gifts from students. 1 year I got a thermoflask, 1 year I got a Hydro Flask. And I was like, man, I like the Hydro Flask kid better.
Yeah, so make sure you have that. Make sure you have snacks throughout the day, especially if you happen to make it to the shadow round. It will be a long day. Or have your friends get you food in between the last round and the shadow round.
Yep, I will say this. No, not to be too LA about it, but with your snacks, please make sure you pack snacks that aren't just sugar, that have like high protein in them, because protein takes a while for your body to metabolize, so it provides longer source of energy. If you just eat a bunch of sugar and carbs, you're going to feel better for about 30 minutes, and then you're going to feel worse. So, like nuts, beef jerky, stuff like that is really good to bring.
Yeah.
Right, protein bars, etc.
I learned this at SoCal, where I had a bag of trail mix for the first day, and it was awesome. And then day 2, I was starving by the middle of round 1.
Yeah,
with no trail.
Yeah, trail mix is another good one.
Yeah. The 1 year I did well at Bay Area Open, I had lots of snacks. And I will attribute my success to snacks from Trader Joe's, which was right next door.
Plenty of orange slices.
Orange slices? Orange slices
I'm
are
just
gross.
joking. That was for Adam. It was a soccer joke.
I was always that kid on the soccer team who was like, get these orange slices out of my face. Where's my granola bar?
Yeah, exactly.
I want my granola.
Yes, Carrick, win alcohol. Yes.
Huh? Okay, what did KR say?
Alcohol. Get sugar and
alcohol,
carbs.
Yes. A lot of alcohol.
Drink lots of Guinness.
Dark beers are good for that. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Make sure you bring me alcohol too.
Yep, you'll find John, Danny, and I at the judges' table or at the bar.
Or me, you'll see walking around, because I'm the one who actually gets up and walks around.
Hey, whoa. You don't get to say that. I get to walk around all the time, too. The only person right here who doesn't get up and walk around from the judges' table is Adam. Which is why we always say Adam needs to bring the giant
I walked
hat.
around most of the year.
Yes.
I've had to walk around most of the year, especially at SoCal Open, goddammit, because of where they put the friendly compared to the champs.
Well,
that was
so I did my walking during the rest of the year.
Back and forth.
Yeah, see, Carrick Quinn is my back.
God.
He says I've seen John walking.
And I guess we're trading in
who don't walk. Danny and I are not.
I guess we're trading salty John for defensive John today.
I know.
No,
right?
I'm still salty right now. I'm just being careful because I'm sparring with Danny.
It's why I don't say anything. We've discussed this before.
Danny is both stronger and smarter than I am. So must tread lightly.
No, I just went to a shittier all boy. I actually went to a shitty all boy school versus you, so like I can play the dozens way harder.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, I went to a better all boys school than both of you. So.
Yeah, again, no one can say. People are like, I went to a better Catholic school than you. I'm be like, yes, you did.
Yeah, I know. That's why I never bring it up.
It's like I don't know how mine is. Our claim to fame was during the LA riots of having on I think it was KTLA, of having one of our current students wearing our sweater and uniform, bashing open a window and walking out with the TV and raising it over their head like a trophy.
Nice.
Good times. Good times.
My high school
come
experience. Yeah. Oh, you can't anymore. They closed. The Archdiocese closed us down. To got to pay for that cathedral / touchy hands-on priest. Somehow.
Jesus. Oh my God.
Hey,
Okay.
and remember, having pets instead of kids is selfish. Don't forget that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he said that the other day.
It was just one of those things of like, what a random time to enter into that conversation. It's like, read the room, guy. Like,
not to mention it's like, okay, you're gonna be conservative, and that's what you're leading with. One time that you are. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was just more of like, dude, this just seems like a weird time to bring this up.
I mean, it's better to lead with that, Tom, than to lead with let's hide all of the pedophiles in the Vatican.
That's true.
Well, no, he'll never lead with that, because that's just the assumed directive currently for most of the Vatican's leadership. You don't have to lead with something that's already in place.
We're the only Catholic 40K podcast. We have to,
Yeah, exactly.
Can't you tell?
Yeah,
which is why we're allowed to criticize it.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you do it, it's discriminatory.
That's right. How dare you discriminate against my Catholicism, Protestant scum?
Especially on Dia de los Muertos.
I know, right?
Like, God, on a holy day.
Yeah. How dare you people?
God damn it.
You mean you people?
That's right.
What you mean, you people?
I'm trying to think what else. Wear comfortable shoes.
Yes.
The Rio is not on the Strip.
No, it's not.
Oh, yeah.
So those of you who have never been to Vegas before, it's not on the Strip. So the Strip is where like all the big casinos and stuff are. Now the Rio is huge. Happens. It's a giant hotel, and it's great. And the space it's in is gigantic.
It's like its own, It's
a self-contained thing. Although also like people, some people like to, kind of get down on the Rio because it is a slightly older hotel. It is off strip, but awesome. It's actually really easy to get to. Yep. Like, in terms of travel, they always have lots of taxis, so it's really easy to flag a taxi and get to wherever you got to go. And it's like a 5-minute trip into the heart of the strip.
There's also shuttles that go to the Rio and off. So.
Yeah. And there's also like right north of Rio, like if you walk out the Rio and just walk north, you go into like this kind of like little, like a hybrid little Tokyo, little like Chinatown, because there's like a bunch of great noodle shops and karaoke bars and stuff. That's literally like a 10-minute walk. So like there is even stuff around it. So it's not a bad venue.
So if you're younger and you like to party, which means none of the people going to this tournament, the Palms is right there.
Or at least none of us on this podcast.
I'm sure there's plenty of young people going to the tournament. It's just not us.
Yeah, it's definitely not us.
There's not that many young partiers that go to tournaments, 40K tournaments.
There's a few. There are a few.
Yeah.
Back in my day.
Hey, I mean, I started playing 40K in the late 1900s, so that's what that says.
I mean, so did I, but
yeah,
I played 40K at the turn of the century. Okay.
Yep, exactly. I know, right? See, I love when I can tell my students about the aughts of like, oh man, I remember back in aught 3 or aught 4.
Do you say it in Grandpa Simpson voice?
Sure, you bet your fucking ass I do.
I wore a turnip on my hip because that was the fashion at the time.
It was the style at the time.
I'll be dead in my grave before I recognize Missouri.
Give me 5 B's for a quarter, they used to say.
Okay.
Anyway.
Listener and Patreon
Very
questions?
Good. Yeah, we can move on. We can move on to that. That's fine.
You'll hear a lot of this next time anyway, as we prep you for
we'll just repeat it again because no one listens.
Yeah, and probably also us discussing. I imagine next episode is going to be a lot of us like, okay, what the fuck is up with GSC/custodes?
No, I'm not discussing that at all.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, your policy is they don't exist anymore.
I'm turning off the form as soon as that book drops. Oh, sorry, I can't answer your rules question, guy. Form closed. Have fun.
So if you have any questions in the chat, go ahead and ask them in there. From our Patreon group, John from Laverne is asking if he needs to bring his Chromebook to help with data entry after the first round of LVO.
Maybe,
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes. History would say yes. All I'm doing is pointing out historical trends. Yes.
KR Quinn, list for
That's a
Custodes and
question.
GSE. Good luck.
Yeah. Hand type that shit.
Yeah, there is a way to do it so that BCP will acknowledge it.
Yeah.
You just have to type it out.
Yeah. Ish from LA is asking, which with the new year has Tom changed his exfoliating routine?
Clearly not.
Well, I usually start with an almond-based, honey-flavored, smelling kind of. No, I don't do any of that shit.
We can tell.
Thank you.
Damn.
No, my wife always likes to say, like, she's like, oh, you need to take care of your skin, and I'm like, I don't care. She's like, but it bugs me, and I'm like, yeah, sorry. And then she gets back at me somehow, and then it's worse for me somehow. So there you go.
Yeah. I don't know. I think one of my proudest achievements, which was at the shitty LVO,
Which one?
was you know which
the last one?
Yes. Was it was Thursday when I still had hope, and I sat down at the bar, and this was with like Handsome Dave, and I think Adam, you were with me.
2020.
Probably.
But yeah, and I was playing. I put like $10 in the video poker while I was ordering a drink. Ended up like hitting a straight flush and made like $300.
Oh, wow.
And the bartender was just like, "Oh yeah," and he's like, "Oh yeah, can I see some ID?" And I was like, "Bro, I'm older than you. Like, just give me drinks. Like, let me see that ID." And I give him my ID. He's just like, "Okay, well now I feel like shit. Thanks."
Yep.
Oh my god! I once paid a waiter or bartender to ask my date to check her ID because he didn't ask her and she felt kind of bad.
Oh yeah, no,
That
no,
story
gave
wasn't
him
going the
extra
direction
tip.
I was hoping it would go.
those are
Well, it got me laid, so it worked.
Okay, but we eventually
Those-
got there.
There it is. That's a pro skill move, guys. We're just you know.
Called an Adam free tip.
That's what I. Yes, that is what I called it.
Oh boy.
I'm sure it was just a tip.
This show is going to get us in a lot of trouble.
With who?
I don't know.
Wait, are you? Oh my God, are we gonna get demonetized?
Oh, shit.
Wait, we make money.
Wait,
on
we're monetized?
it? No, right? Someone should have told me that.
I tried it once. We ended up owing money. So,
Sounds like America.
Yeah. Your
Hey,
content's so bad.
Ken
you
has
have to
make
pay.
money? No.
John, you answered KR Quinn's question
Which one?
about he's asking basically how we're supposed to upload the BCP list if Battlescribe isn't updated.
The BCP
In time.
guys should be able to let you know that if you ping them on Facebook. Otherwise, hopefully that gets added someplace in the coming days. It should get added somewhere,
Mhm.
hopefully.
No,
Gary
in regards to like his question
format
is not how to format it, but basically how to get the proper points updated if Battlescribe is not
Yeah, you have to
updated.
do it manually yourself. There's a way to type it out in the
Yeah.
format that works.
Yeah, you can type it out in the format you're supposed to upload it to, but it's just a lot of work and a lot of math.
Maybe
So we'll make Jason check all that.
Who's like, an enterprising young fellow can create like a Google Doc that's already like pre-formatted that you just fill in.
That'd be cool.
Anybody
Yeah.
listening who can do that, go ahead.
Get on
That's
it.
what happened to the TFG Radio ASMR site. Yes, that is what happened. We tried to monetize and we ended up owing money because we were so bad at it.
Yep.
Nobody
Yes.
wanted to hear me talking in the microphone like this all the time.
No.
Talking about Warhammer and large cannons,
hammers.
large cannons on Castellans.
Large hands firing, throbbing with anticipation.
Yeah. John,
My gallant took a railgun to the face. Hey, fast forward a month, that's gonna be fucking true.
John, is this your way of announcing the upcoming audio drama you're going to release called The Lonely Castellan?
Oh my god.
That'd be great. Somebody save us. Is there another Patreon question?
Emo Pie
We're spiraling.
is asking if we're going to update the player packet to reflect once we figure out what to do with the GW train.
Yeah, once we figure it out, it'll get in there. I do think it's I'm OP.
I'm OP.
I'm OP.
I like Emo Pie.
I'm OP. I'm OP.
Danny laughed. He knows why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's Leo from FLG who was on Signals from the Front Line just yesterday. Mm-hmm. Well, he's the one in charge of updating he's in charge of the train, basically. He's a train guy. So he'll be updating it once they figure out what they're going to do with it. So, I think that's all the questions.
If you'd like to be able to get questions in, join the Patreon group.
Yeah.
And then we'll let you know when there's a show coming. You can submit questions.
Yeah. You can
join
do
the
that.
Patreon
Just
group
look up
and I'll
TFG Radio.
you ASMR. 40K based ASMR.
Oh, God.
That's for the platinum tier.
And let's not actually promise that because I'm not doing that.
I just put it in there now.
I was about to be like narrator. Little did John know how well.
It's a verbal contract.
I definitely had to get that in there fast because somebody's gonna do it.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna be stuck making stupid ASMR movie clips for YouTube.
We can be like we can put you on Cameo.com.
Yeah, there we go.
I'll just record myself when I'm clipping things as I'm modeling. And then just put it on loop.
Modeling ASMR.
Yeah, I'll just loop the sound of clipping and scratching and filing of plastic and just loop it. Whatever. This is 40K ASMR.
There you go.
Works.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Money printer, go
I'm
bird.
sure it'll be fine. Yes, that's exactly what. Okay, I think just a couple reminders. One of them is the podcast Grand Alliance, which includes us, TFG Radio. Pod Save the Imperium.
What's happening?
What happened with?
I'm not looking at that.
John is running his own hot tub Twitch channel with just him and the mannequin.
I promise you, if you got that to the right audience, it would be good for us. I'm just saying, there's an audience for that.
People will watch that.
I don't want there to
We've
be an
discussed
audience
this
for
before.
That.
No, you know what's
audience to exist.
You know something I learned that really disturbed me is that Tony the Tiger, Tony the Tiger is not on Twitter or Instagram as a brand anymore because every time he would post from Kellogg's, his mentions would just be full of nothing but horny furries. So they ended up just pulling Tony the Tiger entirely from social media.
Where's the reset button on humanity? Where's that comment I was promised?
I mean, he's part of an endangered species.
Yeah,
that Netflix documentary promised I'd get hit by a comet. Where is it?
Yeah.
Everybody
just
look up.
John and his mannequin Tom.
Everybody look up. I want to die.
I might I might write a short story just on that for John and his mannequin Tom. I feel like I get something.
Carrick,
that could be your next submission.
How do you know? Because Danny actually is on Twitter a lot. Unfortunately for Danny, he's on Twitter a lot.
I'm on Twitter far more than Facebook because I have to do it for my other side hustle that makes me no money.
Yeah.
As side hustles are wont to do.
Yep. Especially creative side hustles.
Yeah.
Or the side hustles that fulfill me that don't just pay my bills. So
bro, you just need to turn your work into an NFT, bro.
You mean a PDF?
Oh my God! Did you see that Twitter thread today, Danny? The one with the PDF, and then the guy's like, "Oh man!" And then if you could get the pictures on the text of the PDF, and somebody was like, "That's just a website," and they're like, "Man, if you could make the pictures move," they're like, "That's a fucking movie."
Yeah, pretty much.
So good. As I was saying, this fabulous podcast is Podcast Grand Alliance with us, our other podcast, Pod Save the Imperium, which we should have an episode out soon,
Monday.
right, John?
Monday. The episode's
Monday.
Someday.
All right. The Flying Monkey Wargaming Podcast, and the Party at the All Points. If you want to hear about AOS.
Yep, they have a whole. Their Christmas episode has 19 different musical numbers they wrote. So
Jesus.
if that's something you can deal with, you'll love it. And if not, then it's still better than having a Lin-Manuel Miranda song at Congress, I guess, for today.
Is that what happened?
I know, right?
I didn't see that one.
Ooh. Yeah, look it up and be mad.
No, I'm not.
It's pretty funny.
I successfully avoided most of that today.
I can't.
So
I can't.
So give them a listen. Give us a listen.
I can't stop the tangent. One of the things of God Rest Her Soul, Toni Morrison did that forever endears her to me, besides writing amazing novels that I envy in every regard, is she hated Hamilton so much that she literally paid. She paid for an off-Broadway production of a play that just tore it apart. That was entirely just a a savaging of the play. And I'm like, God damn, that's a level of petty that I just aspire to. It's amazing.
That's next level.
Yeah. It's like, man, I fucking hate this. I'm gonna pay this playwright to make a whole play about it.
That's petty as hell.
Yeah.
Anywho.
In addition, we also have our two sponsors, as we mentioned before, HammerheadGames.net, or you can look for the Shark Tank on Facebook. Tony always has good deals going on, and we'll also ship anywhere. We also have Gameology Games at GameologyGames.com.
What a great
where
website.
You can also find GW product and other stuff at a discount, especially if you don't play
And if you're
GW
in the
or play
Pasadena
other
area
games.
or SoCal area, on a rainy day, go to Gameology because the other store won't have any electricity.
Fuck.
I mean, it's fact.
I know, right?
It's just a public service announcement. Why is everybody laughing? Literally, don't drive to the other store because they won't have electricity. You won't be able to buy anything. Go to the other one. That's all I'm saying.
We don't mean Hammerhead Games, by the way, as the other store.
No. We mean the other.
Because that one's in Sacramento, not in Pasadena.
Don't drive all the way to Sacramento if it's raining in Pasadena. That's a bad idea.
I mean, unless you're really bored and you got the time, then why not?
I mean, maybe it's a lot nicer.
Then you do you, man. I mean,
Yeah, right.
I guess I shouldn't try to tell you how to live your life.
No, yeah,
Just don't take a real gun to the face.
Why not? Everyone else does.
sure.
Sorry.
I mean, it is in my DNA.
Yeah. Also true.
It's in there twice,
my
both
God.
white and German.
You have the double whammy over there. I believe that is it. I think we're under sponsors. If you don't listen to the next, happen to not listen to the next episode, we'll see you at LVO. Look for us walking around the giant room, or at the judges' table, or at the bar.
Come say hi, please.
Or the craps tables.
Please say hi.
Or poker tables. Or
roulette.
We'll all be around.
Yeah, I like roulette.
I don't like roulette.
I love roulette because roulette is all about a positive attitude, and so when you've been drinking and having a good time, it just goes so well.
Not sound like my game.
Oh yeah, well I know. Well, that's fair.
I'm gonna come ruin your roulette games with my shit attitude.
Yeah.
You
John is gonna go from judging straight to mahjong. That's how he works.
Oh God.
Kara Quinn added to our Patreon for $5. Nice.
No,
Look at that. There you go.
Guy.
He wants that terrain.
Yeah, he does.
Not because of us. He wants a $200 terrain for $5.
Yeah.
Hey,
I respect that.
I've done it. That's why we played Lotto
Yeah.
in the lottery. I believe that's it. Thank you, Tom, for joining us today.
Gracing us with your presence.
We're gonna
So
change
we go by the
guest from now
with
on.
the light behind you.
So going by the numbers last year, we'll see you in about 3 months.
Yes.
Any words to sustain the people in those interim 3 months?
Why did you start yelling in dad voice all of a sudden, Adam? Like you were super
Because I'm lecturing him.
loud now.
He's lecturing. Yeah. He's
Well, plus, I think I turned up the mic too much.
I think you did too.
Final words. If you're going to
Why did I say
LVO,
final? I mean, not gonna be gone for good, are you? Is it trying to tell us something?
I know, right?
No, final. I thought you meant for the whatever. Have fun at LVO if you go. Hide your Dominatus.
Danny?
Play games. Be nice to each other. I'll say something different next time before we go to LVO.
All right. John, any words of wisdoms as the head judge of LVO for those that either want to attend or plan to attend or may attend in the years to come?
Yes. In the name of all things holy, please read the player packet.
So nobody's going to read it.
And before you send any questions in to the forum, please read the current FAQ. And
no one's going to read it. It's too many questions.
if you send in a question asking us to redo our ruling on Argent Shroud or the ruling about the Cherub, we're not going to respond because the ruling is not going to change. No matter how many times you send us the question. The ruling's the ruling.
Yeah. Trust me, I got that question a lot over the
And for
over the
everybody
year.
saying that the ruling that we have is different than the GW US Open rulings, I can tell you for a fact it's not, because I
Weren't you a
judged
judge there?
those events too. It's the same. So when you write in and say, "How dare you use a ruling that's opposite
Dare
of the
you?
US GW Open rulings," I know you're lying.
John's very passionate about it.
Those were my rulings.
No, because I'm sorry. No, like if you're sitting there like basically trying to harangue us into doing what you want, fuck you. How about that?
Danny, you already said your piece, but I'll allow it.
I feel like Danny said what I was trying to say better, so yes.
You're just trying to be
with
nice,
Danny,
John.
by the way. You say something and it takes you a lot to say it, and then he just sums it up in a sentence. And you're like, well, okay, fuck off, guy.
Well, he is an English teacher, so
I
English
pointed that out in
professor.
the article today. I literally was like, I can prove to you that Danny's the author and the English teacher because he's
Oh,
the
yeah.
only one I didn't have to fix any grammatical errors in.
Yeah, and also is the one is like, hey, can you spell check me anyway?
Yeah.
The intellectual humility to back it.
Oh man, I suck at spelling. Like the spell check has ruined me. I
Yeah.
can just be like, wait, I'm close enough to the word. I'll fix it in post. It's fine.
Yeah.
Google or Word will catch it. Something, it'll be fine.
Yeah,
There'll be red squiggly lines under it. Tell me
Exactly.
what to do.
Grammarly commercial.
No, I hate grammar so much.
Really, I haven't seen those commercials in a long time.
Oh, I see him every time I go onto YouTube at school with my teacher account. It's
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
well,
right.
there's
any
a reason.
commercial
Makes sense.
before any YouTube video I show in class. It's always Glamor.
Yeah, they pay a lot of money for that.
I'm sure
They sure do. No, they absolutely do.
This has
All
been
right,
the
well, thank you
longest
everybody
end
for
of show
listening.
ever.
I know. Well, somebody had to go on a rant that Danny had to cut short. So,
He was just succinct about
thank
it.
you everybody for listening. As always, it's always a pleasure. We'll hope to see you guys at LVO. If not, I'll probably see you at one of the other million of tournaments that I help judge. So, there's that. Good night, everybody, and have a pleasant tomorrow.
Laters. Bye.